On the DC metro area, pricing varies significantly. It does go up, then you can refinance and make improvements to the home. The lender that you go with will recheck everything. Hello, yasas, bonjour. If you're looking for a home in the DC metro area, well, I've got you covered. I've put together 5 expert buying tips that will help you navigate this market, and it'll keep it as stress-free and seamless as possible for you. Tip number 1, get pre-approved before you start looking for a home. Now you ask, why should I be doing this? Now in the DC metro area, one of the reasons is this is a very competitive market, which means sometimes there's more buyers than there are homes in the market. So you want to be ready when you see that home, your dream home, you're ready with a pre-approval letter so that you could put in an offer right when you're ready to do it. The second reason is that you want to know what your budget is. So as you're looking at listings, you know that you're looking within the range that you can afford, so you're not wasting your time. Now, to get pre-approved, what you need to do is gather your W-2, the past 2 years, depending if you had the same employer, one should be suffice. And then you would want 2 pay stubs, most recent pay stubs, 2 bank statements, most recent bank statements. And also, if you're self-employed, you'll want to gather your tax returns for the past 2 years. Now, these are just typical recommendations. So you want to just have these ready and also allow for a little bit of time to get pre-approved. Now, what your real estate agent will do or should do is give you a couple of options of who to go with, whether it's a loan officer or a mortgage broker. Now, there's a difference between the two. A loan officer works for one institution, whether it's a bank or a credit union or some institution that is a lender. And he'll go through your financials and see what program fits best for you within that institution. Whereas a mortgage broker works with a variety of institutions. He's a third party to a lender, which means that he'll go out, look at your financials, and then he'll go out and find the best rate, the best program for you based on your situation, whether he chooses a credit union, a bank, some type of lending institution. Now, there's pros and cons to both, and if you want to know more information about this, there's a link down below to a blog post that I just did on my website, and you could just scan that blog to see more information about that. Now, the other thing I want to point out is to make sure you do not make this common mistake when you're going through the home buying process. Do not make any big purchases between settling on a house, or I should say putting an offer on a house and settling on a house. During that time, even though you're pre-approved and they've accepted your offer, it's not yours until you sign the dotted line on that final settlement date. And what happens is the lender that you go with will recheck everything right before he hands over the keys to that house, before you sign. So during that time period, you could window shop, but do not change your credit. Do not do anything. Don't close credit cards. Don't do anything that will affect your credit. Tip number 2 for buying a home, select a local real estate agent. A local real estate agent will know about neighborhood trends, price fluctuations, and also traffic patterns. Like someone like myself, I've lived and worked in DC, Maryland, and Virginia over the years. The other thing a local agent could do is also know about upcoming deals or off-market deals. It's important to select the right real estate agent that works for you, that communicates the way you want to be communicated. And you can also ask about their negotiation skills and what they do in order to get you the best deal. Tip number 3 for buying a home: make a list of your must-haves versus your nice-to-haves about a home. Why you say is this important? Well, in the DC metro area, pricing varies significantly depending on location, size of a home, or even features of a home. So it's important to know what it is that you're exactly looking for, and it'll help you also prioritize when you're looking for a home so that you don't end up with decision paralysis when you do find a home. So what I mean by must-haves are your non-negotiables. The home must have these things in there, whether it's the number of bedrooms, the location, things like that. Nice to haves are things like a fireplace, a finished basement, maybe you'd like a half bath on the first level, maybe you'd like an outdoor patio, things like that are nice to haves. But then you can also look at the home and see if it's something that you can add to the property. Now, I do have something for you. If you click on the link below, I have a blog post that I did on must-haves versus nice-to-haves about a home. So what I did is I broke it into 2 categories: must-haves and nice-to-haves, related to the home and also related to the location, because those 2 lists are very different. When it comes to must-haves for the home, I listed things like energy efficiency, the type of windows, the structure of the home, whether it has the number of bedrooms that you want. Does it have things like the number of bathrooms that you want? Nice to have is things like a fireplace, a finished basement, a home office. And then when it comes to location, I looked at things like traffic patterns. Is it close to a good school? Is it close to things like shopping that may be important to you that you want to have close by? Walkability. Walkability is more like a nice to have for some people, but it could be a must have for you. So the list may be a little bit off, but hopefully you can use it as a tool to come up with your own private list of what you want in a home. Now, the other thing you want to do when you're thinking about your must-haves and nice-to-haves is ask your real estate agent about the value of the home. What is the historical pricing? Has it increased in value? Does it look like it has a potential to grow in the future? This will give you an idea if you could refinance that home or how long you have to stay in the home in order to see a value out of it and be able to resell the home for a higher price and then possibly get another home in the area. Now, this is something, that is very individual. Some people just want to buy a home and they just stay with that home. But it's nice to know that if the value does go up, then you can refinance and make improvements to the home. So at the end of the day, it's always good to know if you're getting a good value for your money. And this is something your real estate agent should be doing for you. Tip number 4, be prepared for a competitive market. The DC metro area is known for competitive market offers, meaning multiple offers on one home. Even when the market is slow, you could still come across this, so you want to be prepared. The first thing you want to do, like we talked about before, is be pre-approved. Second, know your budget. Know what your limit is so that if you do have to go over the asking price, you know what your budget is so you're not ending up house poor. The other thing you want to do is possibly think about skipping the home inspection. There are buyers that do this, just that to make their offer look more appealing to the seller. Now, what we mean by also making the offer strong is you could consider skipping more of the contingencies that come along with the contract. Contingencies are things that if they're not met, then you don't have to go through with the sale and the buyer could walk away with their earnest money deposit and no penalty to the buyer. Now, the type of the contingencies I'm referring to is like skipping looking at the homeowners association documents or skipping looking at the lead-based paint situation, or radon or mold in the home. There are buyers that do this. I don't recommend this, but when it comes to a competitive market, if you really want a home that you know you're getting a good value, this is where you're looking at a property and you're really evaluating it and making a judgment on whether it's going to be a good buy or not. Now, what you could do is refer to my ultimate walkthrough checklist that I have a YouTube video on it, and there's also a blog on my website that you can check out that will give you an idea of how to walk through a property pretty much like an inspector and get a good idea if you're getting a good value for your money. That could be helpful in a situation where it's a competitive market and you need to make a decision right away whether you want to go with a home or not. Tip number 5, don't skip the home inspection. I know we just said that sometimes you do skip the home inspection, but typically you don't want to skip the home inspection because this even gives you possibility of negotiating with the seller if you do find something. Now, the reason to do a home inspection is you want to make sure that there's nothing really wrong with the house, like electrical or foundational issues that could be really costly to repair. The DC metro area has a lot of older homes, so you really want to check those things. A home inspector will look at the roof, foundation, plumbing and electric, HVAC and appliances. They'll even look at the insulation and the windows. So be sure once you get that inspector report, go through it. Your real estate agent can go through it as well with you, and if you have any concerns, they can be addressed before you go to closing. Now you're equipped with 5 key strategies to help you navigate the DC market when buying a home. So if you're looking for a real estate agent in the DC metro area, comment down below or click on my Calendly link and book a one-on-one appointment with me. If you found this helpful, like the video and subscribe for more real estate tips, and comment down below if there's a topic that you'd like for me to cover in real estate.